Doraemon really exists. He once saved the world. I used to be like you, thinking Doraemon existed only in cartoons. But he really did come to this world. It's just that you've all forgotten him. I don't know if you'll ever see this diary, but there are some truths you must know. The above comes from a strange diary. A report from an amusement park. A huge dilapidated statue of Doraemon suddenly appeared in the middle of the amusement park. And in his pocket, he found this strange diary. It records a fairy tale about Doraemon saving the world. I originally thought it was just a child's fantasy, but I didn't expect the truth in the diary to be far greater than you and I. Imaginations. The following is the entire diary entry, July 9, 2013. Today, Mom and Dad finally agreed to take me to the amusement park. It was newly opened and packed with people. I was having a blast at first, but then something strange happened. I saw the balloon in my hand fly up into the sky and then disappear. It didn't disappear slowly, but suddenly. Then, a strange alarm sounded not far away. I saw the top of the tallest building nearby suddenly disappear, as if it had been chopped off by a knife. Then the second tallest, the third tallest, and all the taller buildings were cut off, except for the Doraemon in the center of the amusement park. Dream statue. Then, terrified screams erupted in the amusement park. Mom and Dad looked frantic. They seemed to be on the phone, but the signal was gone. A gigantic bird-like creature appeared in the sky. I had never seen anything like it. It circled above the amusement park. Mom and Dad wanted to get me out. Then we encountered the first person trying to leave. He told us there was no way out. The amusement park was suddenly surrounded by a forest. There were many huge, terrifying creatures in the forest, and many man-eating creatures, just like zombies. As soon as you enter the forest, those terrifying creatures will swarm you like a tide. Later, more and more people who tried to leave returned. They were all telling the same story. The entire world around the amusement park was transformed in an instant. The amusement park remained the same, but the sky was different. Everything around them was different too. No one knew what had happened. No one had ever seen the starry sky of July 10, 2013. Today, the sun rose again from the north. People began to talk. This wasn't our original world. Nothing special happened today, because no one dared to go out. But the real threat now came, not from the terrifying creatures in the forest, but from the people within the city. I witnessed robbery and even murder for food. Morality seemed to have vanished. On July 30, 2013, some people took the lead in establishing a stability maintenance organization. Everyone seemed to be cooperating peacefully. Most of the remaining food in the stores was distributed fairly. Everyone who could work seemed to work without hesitation. Some scientists, including me, used their equipment to build a small generator. Power was restored to the amusement park. Everyone seemed to have finally calmed down from their initial fear and confusion. July 30, 2013. It's been almost 3 weeks since I arrived here. Some problems seem to be getting worse. The first is the food and water situation. Some people have managed to grow wheat and potatoes in the vacant land, but it's still not enough. We're running out of food and water. It does rain from time to time, but few people consider drinking rainwater safe. To address this issue, expeditions were sent out to explore the jungle. These expeditions usually ended the same way. No one ever returned. Only once or twice did someone manage to return to the amusement park, but those people were no longer themselves. They couldn't remember who they were or why they were there. The second problem was the forest. For the first 10 days or so, the forest seemed to have no effect on us. But soon after the power was restored, the forest attacked us. Horrible creatures and waves of zombies would randomly invade the amusement park and slaughter people indiscriminately on the streets. People were originally helpless against these creatures. The third problem only became apparent later. It was a health issue. Those returning from the forest seemed to have brought back some strange disease, which began to spread among the population. Some people became ill. It started with a fever, but it slowly developed into a nightmarish transformation. My parents told me it was a genetic mutation. These people's bodies were distorted into horrific forms, and they would completely lose their minds, attacking everyone indiscriminately. Once the disease... On September 30, 2013, in response to attacks from monsters and zombie nests in the forest, people spontaneously formed patrol teams. The team members would 4-hour shifts. Where can I see the entire park? The tall buildings have been cut off by a mysterious force. Only we can climb to the top of the Doraemon statue. It's the only vantage point now. From there, patrol teams can see the movements of monsters and zombies from afar. Everyone can be forewarned and prepared. October 30, 2013. Early warning methods are indeed useful. Casualties have dropped significantly in the past month. Finally, we no longer have to constantly watch out for zombies in the forest while we sleep. All this is thanks to the Doraemon statue. Lately, at the amusement park at night, everyone plays music on their phones, listening to the music we used to be so familiar with. People began to gather around the Doraemon statue. The two bonfires began to dance together. It had been a long time since I had seen everyone so happy. At that moment, many believed that he must be the guardian angel who had come to save us. January 2nd, 2014. Scientists recently discovered that forest creatures seemed not to attack the sick, so these people began exploring the forest. Today we finally reached the edge of the forest, but it was a devastating discovery. The edge of the forest was all ocean, a vast, endless ocean. This was a devastating discovery. February 2nd, 2015. It had been almost a year and a half since I arrived here. More and more people were beginning to accept reality. They no longer let's talk about leaving here. Everyone seems to have gradually grown accustomed to life here. Days are boring and helpless. The adults make up story after story and tell them to the children. And the protagonist of each story is always this Doraemon statue that protects us. Gradually, everyone comes to believe that this statue is our guardian angel. Praying and singing around Doraemon has become a new tradition. It seems to be everyone's spiritual sustenance. He gives us the courage and hope to survive. I hope to become a member of the patrol team so that I can protect everyone together with the guardian angel. There is a long gap between the time I enter this diary entry and the time I enter this entry. It's already 10 years later. January 2, 2025. I haven't written in my diary in ages. Life is so repetitive every day, there's nothing worth recording. I'm starting over because of a recent discovery. Just yesterday, someone discovered that the only remaining pastry radio on the head of the guardian deity could receive a specific radio station from our old world. Hopes of returning home were rekindled. January 10, 2025. Scientists immediately tracked the source of the radio signal and discovered that the signal was coming from Doraemon's pocket. Today, scientists decided to dig through Doraemon's pocket. But many people were wondering, do we really want to destroy our guardian deity? But just as everyone was arguing, the rock in the statue's pocket suddenly fell off. The rock used to build the Doraemon statue is incredibly solid. It's impossible for it to fall off on its own. So everyone agreed it was a miracle. Doraemon had once again protected us, allowing us to return home. On March 15, 2025, after preliminary preparations were completed, excavation officially began. After digging about a meter, everyone was surprised to discover that the entire Doraemon statue was completely empty. It was a vast, dark space that seemed to extend far down. Scientists tied some equipment to the end of a rope. To everyone's surprise, everything sent down was swallowed by the hole. No one knows where it went, but many people firmly believe that the disappeared objects must have returned home. This is a reasonable assumption, because the radio waves were emitted from this black hole. Scientists agree that this hole is indeed the entrance back to our own world. A month after April 15, 2025, scientists are discussing how to explore black holes, because there is a major problem to be solved: safety. Every time something tied to a rope disappears at the bottom of the hole, the rope is cut, just like those skyscrapers 5 years ago. This means anyone entering the cave could be cut off. However, this problem was quickly resolved. By tying a camera to a rope connected to a screen on the ground, it was discovered that the rope would only be cut if it was pulled back. As long as the rope was not pulled back, the screen would still receive a signal from the camera. The camera recorded nothing but darkness on the other side. However, since it continued to work until the rope was pulled back, this did not seem to be a big problem. After all, in such a situation, some technical problems were to be expected. The second problem was that the cave was too small for humans to enter. We tried several times to enlarge the cave, but the salt seemed to have made of a material stronger than any machine. It can no longer be excavated. The reality is that only very young children can enter. Finally, after everyone's discussion and with my parents' approval, they unanimously decided to send me into the cave to try. I remember my parents crying and telling me that this playground was too small and that it wasn't the life I was meant to have. Tomorrow, May 5, 2025, I'm leaving here. My parents are sad, but also seem happy for me. They told me that Doraemon's time machine will take me to a better world. Perhaps when I return to that world, I'll be able to save everyone. I don't know what my parents are talking about. That's not right. When I left here, I only took this diary with me, because at the end of the diary, I have my memories and the source of my courage. He will always ask me to come back and save everyone.
This diary ends here. To be honest, I don't know if what's written in this diary is true. But later, through an X-ray scan, I saw that the statue is indeed hollow inside, but the hole seems to have expanded to the size of an adult. So, if this diary is true, the time machine in Doraemon's treasure bag should have already taken those people who lost their locks back home. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but when I left the amusement park, I seemed to see Doraemon smiling at me.